Welcome back to Studio G. I'm Triana Gondo.
And I'm Dejan Sullivan, guys. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Texas Republican leaders began discussion on the proposed carry handgun legislation days after the mass shooting in Colorado and Atlanta. Texas House Homeland Security and Public Safety Committee are set to discuss legislation today that will allow Texans to carry handguns without a permit. This comes as a pushback to the current Biden administration, which is an advocacy on gun control. In a press conference following the shooting in Colorado, President Biden states this is not and should not be a partisan issue. This is an American issue. More updates on this topic are to be expected as conversations on background checks and gun control continue around the nation.
Early this morning, the hearing from the gunman involved in the shooting at a Colorado grocery store, Ahmad Alyssa, took place. The hearing lasted about 3 minutes, leading with discussion of Alyssa's mental health. And under Colorado law, there is a mental illness defense allowed. However, it has not been proven successful. Boulder District Attorney Michael Doherty mentioned that the charges are likely to be filed within the next 2 weeks as Colorado Police Department continues to investigate the crime scene. Judge Thomas Malafil ordered Alyssa to be held without bail and the next hearing to be no sooner than in 60 days. Actress Jessica Walter died in New York overnight, just recently overnight. She was an Emmy Award-winning actress and starred in the Arrested Development and Archer. She was 80 years old.
As we pass the one-year anniversary of the Nevada shutdown, reporter Valentina Menchikov has the updates on what's next for Nevadans.
Only essential services should remain open, such as fire, police, transit, and health care services. In addition
March
to
17, 2021 marked the one-year anniversary of Governor Sisolak shutting down unessential businesses for 30 days. Since then, thousands of Nevada workers have been laid off and businesses have shut their doors down for good. Nevada was marked as having one of the highest rates of unemployment in the country, battling a broken unemployment system. Among the mayhem, we saw eviction amnesty and stimulus checks awarded to those who needed it most. Now Nevada is starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, with restrictions easing and COVID-19 hospitalizations dropping. Although Nevada struggled amongst the war to survive, our beloved Strip never once shut off its lights.
As the number of vaccinations continue to increase, Nevadans are beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Rise Festival is back this year, guys. Yes, the Lantern is releasing an event from October 1st through the 2nd. They will be following the CDC safety guidelines to create the best experience for festival goers. And the festival is in the Mojave Desert, 25 miles south of Las Vegas on the Jean Dry Lake bed. Pre-sale tickets are available now at discounted price until April 1st. More information can be found, guys, at festival.com, risefestival.com.
High school football has returned, but some coaches will not. COG reporter Jerron Turner has a story for us.
Centennial High School has implanted itself as one of the top high school football programs in the state of Nevada, making all the way to the state championship last year, first time in school history. And much of the credit for their success goes to the famous and battle-tested defensive coordinator, Gerald Robinson.
Say your name for me.
Gerald Robinson.
Okay, Coach Robinson, how long were you coaching at Centennial?
I was at Centennial for 3 total years.
Centennial's defense under the tutelage of Gerald Robinson improved significantly, enabling the entire team to rise and play winning football in 2018 and 2019. But now after 3 years with Centennial, he thinks it's time to hang up his whistle.
Very tough decision, all the way up until the point where I actually had a conversation with Coach Forshee. Just thinking about it, I knew that as a defensive coordinator, my weekends were gone. It was studying film and game planning and a lot of time away from the family. And I'm actually a year away from retiring from my employment. And so I said, you know, I really have to look at things and put things in perspective. As you know, my son was fortunate enough to receive a scholarship to Colorado State University. And so very proud day for my family. But at the time, we just celebrated that. I didn't want to make any decisions at that time. That was his time. And so we got a chance to get over that. once we got over the hump and was able to get him committed and signed at Colorado State, we met as a family and said, you know, is it possible that I can do this?
Coach Robinson ultimately decided to retire after a brief conversation with his family, but one more surprise was still in store for the new retiree.
Very excited to, you know, start a new chapter in my life, but when I did retire and make that announcement, one of the things that came to mind was, wow, I would have never imagined the response that I received from former players, parents that I coached their sons, obviously the coaching staff that I work with. It's just been overwhelming. And so I'm just excited to know that I was able to help so many people during those 2 decades, and which truly told me that it was time to go.
Joe Robinson has been highly regarded by his peers as one of the finest high school football coaches in the state of Nevada. And upon retirement, Coach Joe Robinson told us that he is going to enjoy being part of the CSU family and watching his son play Division I college football. This is Jerron Turner signing off from Studio G. Back to you in the studio.
Coach Robinson has continued to garner thanks and support for his decision to retire. In the meantime, at Centennial, the program went from a one-win program to a state title contender. But in his absence, Centennial will look to fill an entire defensive staff going into the spring.
Guys, don't go anywhere yet. After this break, we'll be looking at this week's weather, as well as we catch up on some new news and entertainment.
You're pregnant, and no matter what you do, no matter what you try, you can't stop using. But it's not too late. There are safe places across Nevada to help pregnant women stop using. No matter how lost you are, how far along you are, there's always hope. If you or someone you love is pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant and using alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211 to find help today.
There is no known safe amount of marijuana used during pregnancy. Everything a mother eats, drinks, or smokes affects her developing baby or enters her breast milk. Just like alcohol and tobacco, using marijuana can have negative effects on your baby. Using any form of marijuana may be harmful to your baby during pregnancy and while breastfeeding. Marijuana can affect your ability to care for your baby or someone else's baby. If you're pregnant or a new mother and using marijuana, you are urged to quit. Visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Devin here with the weather update for today and this coming weekend. Not out of breath today, off to a good start. Here we are, started out with 64 degrees. As you can see right here, that's where we're at right here, right now. Awesome day so far, a little bit of windy, but nothing too crazy out there. The high today will be 66, so it should be chill. Get outside, go enjoy yourself. The low tonight is sitting at 52, with the winds coming out of the southwest at 18 miles an hour. And now as we look at the entire city of Las Vegas, including a little bit of Henderson down here at 63 degrees, right there it is. Boulder City with some good golf once again out there at 59 degrees. Take a look at the rest of the part of the valley. North Las Vegas sitting at 63, right here at UNLV also 63. Southern Highlands 61, and Summerlin and Centennial both at 57 degrees. Always a little cooler out there since they're closer to the mountains. Now we look at tonight's weather. Tonight, 68 degrees. So once again, pretty consistent overall through today. Partly clear, low of 52, and the winds continuing consistently, as you can see, out of the north-northwest at 12 miles an hour. So it should be a good day overall, and we lead into a very good weekend as well. As you can see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and only gets warmer all the way to Sunday at 79 degrees. And then on Monday, once again, a great weekend ending at 84 degrees to start us out on the next week as well. Going to be good weekend so far. Get out, go have some fun, have a picnic, I don't know, play some sports, whatever. Have fun. I'm Devin. That was weather. And now we send it back over to the desk with Triana.
Thanks, Devin. Last summer, Ellen Degeneres came under fire when former employees of the show came forward to speak about the hostile work environment. Despite Ellen publicly apologizing on her show, she has lost 1 million viewers. The loss translates to a 43% decline, representing a steeper drop than any of its competitors. As Ellen fights through this loss in popularity, she has turned to her celebrity friends to vouch for her, and the case there is not much difference between the camera, on camera, and off camera.
And after this break, I'll be sitting down with the tennis player and how her season has been going during the pandemic.
NDOT's top priority is keeping you safe and connected. One of the many ways we strive to keep you safe is by taking an active role with improving the quality of stormwater runoff entering our waterways from our roads and highways. From constructing and maintaining roads to monitoring our waterways, NDOT's dedicated environmental professionals are focused on reducing the impact of our projects on our environment. We do our very best to preserve Nevada's waters for future generations.
This is a storm drain. It collects stormwater. Grass clippings, fertilizer, yard waste, they all contaminate our stormwater. Litter, pet waste, they also contaminate it. Fluids from leaking vehicles run right in there. All stormwater goes untreated directly to our local waterways. Keep contaminants out of our storm drains and out of our waters. Join us in preserving Nevada's waters for future generations. Visit loveandbewaters.com.
All right, guys, and we are right back just like nothing. We had our interview yesterday with Questlove, and today we have an even special guest here from our very own UNLV Women's Tennis Program. We have Miss Olivia Elliott. How are you today, Liv?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fabulous. I'm
Good.
happy to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Run us through our women's tennis here. I know we have a really good team here. Let us know how you guys have been pretty much doing this season and how the pandemic has been affecting you guys in reference to practice, in reference to your preparation. How has everything been thus far for you?
We've been doing quite well. We have still our second half of the season to go, but in terms of like how it's affected us, we can't have fans. We have to every morning before training say like if we have any symptoms or how we're feeling and fill out those forms. Always have to wear a mask. But I mean, in terms of training, we train every day for 3 hours, go to weights for an hour. So everything has been as normal as it could be for COVID.
Absolutely. I would know that you guys probably don't have as many games as they probably would schedule.
Yeah, so our normal conference isn't the same. Like we're not playing the same teams as we normally would because other teams have COVID or like they don't have the funding to play or something like that. So we've been playing more different teams, which I suppose is kind of good because we get to play from loads of different areas and things like that. So just seeing the positive in it.
Absolutely. I wanted my audience to know that Olivia, she's not from the United States. She was born and raised in London. She has a lot of experience worldwide with tennis. I want you to tell my audience a little bit about your experience with some of the people you've met, some of the tennis players you've met to encourage you to continue a career in this sport.
Tennis definitely gives you a great opportunity to travel. I've traveled to many different places. I would say the best place I have traveled to is the Necker Island. It's Richard Branson's island, and I won a tournament called the Necker Cup, and it allowed me to go to his island, meet him for a week, train there, meet some pros there. That was definitely the coolest experience I've had from tennis. I would say the best place that I've been to is South Africa. It was beautiful. I played 3 weeks of tournaments there, and I would go back in Cape Town any day of the week. It was gorgeous. But definitely many different experiences. Tennis isn't as glamorous as it seems. I've been to places that have definitely opened my eyes to culture. For example, I went to Kenya, and the courts the lines have been drawn, and it's literally mud. I was playing on mud.
Oh, wow.
And I had people, like kids with like no arms, no legs on the side of the court begging. It was such an eye-opener to how lucky you are to even have a pair of shoes on your feet. That's how I felt.
That's actually really encouraging to hear that, to know that these type of individuals will inspire you along the way. Shows your heart for the sport, and it shows that you're willing to put all the sacrifice in for it. I know you had plenty of schools to choose from. UNLV, what made UNLV so special for you, and why is this program encouraging you to stay in the sport?
I really liked my coach. I think that's really important, especially coming from overseas. Feeling comfortable is like the #1 thing, because I mean, it's just so different coming to on the other side of the world, especially when you're away from home, family. So feeling comfortable is definitely the #1 thing for me, and I just felt a bit more of a connection to my coach here than the other schools. And I mean, the facilities are great here. You get treated really well. The trainers are great. You have so much opportunity to kind of like grow in your studies and your sport as well. So I just when I came here, I just felt a bit more right than the other ones I visited.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad that worked out for you. Obviously, we're happy to have you here at UNLV, and as well as UNLV, we're happy to have you at Studio G. I want to thank you again for coming in and giving your part of your life here for us and letting our audience know how things been going for tennis. And we here at Studio G wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
Yes, guys, we'll send it right back to you guys. After the break, we'll be back.
It's okay to wonder about safety. I'm here to tell you, and we're all here to tell you, that it is safe. We will not be taking it if we did not think it was safe. We would not be advocating for our own family members to get a vaccine if we didn't think it was safe. These vaccines have demonstrated that they can prevent severe illness and death, which means we finally have a chance of beating this thing and getting back to the life that we knew pre-pandemic.
I think the vaccine's important. I absolutely am going to take advantage of it. It's an opportunity we have to try and prevent the spread and contain this. Look, we know the devastation that Nevada's economy has seen from the COVID-related illnesses and the shutdowns at businesses across the board, from gaming all the way down to small business. And we need to make sure that we do everything we can to protect our loved ones, to protect our neighbors and friends. Anything we can do to get back to work is extremely important.
Your weekend sports update. So this weekend in sports, we have several crucial matchups for our Rebels. First, the volleyball team visits Fresno today in search of their 10th win in a row before heading up to Reno to try and take on the Pack. That's the rivalry right there. Next, the baseball team will head up to Colorado Springs for a 3-game series against Air Force to try and solidify their spot on the top of the Mountain West. After that, softball is on 3-game winning streak. As they travel to San Diego for a weekend series against the Aztecs. Women's soccer will host San Jose on Friday, and then Fresno State on Sunday. Good 2 games right there. Finally, women's tennis will play UNR and Fresno on Saturday and Sunday in San Diego to close out the weekend. So check back with us on Tuesday to find out how all our Rebels did. They probably all won.
Taking a look at what's trending today on Twitter, hashtag Equal Pay Day is at the top during Women's History Month. March 24th is Equal Pay Day. Yesterday, Vice President Kamala Harris weighed in on the issue saying, quote, "The burden of ensuring equal pay isn't on women alone. It is on all of us. And equal pay will benefit all of us too, because when we lift up women, we lift up families. We lift up communities, and all of society is better off." And she ended the quote.
We are nearly at the end of Women's History Month, and today we will share a story of a pioneer Asian American actress in Hollywood. Mae Wong was born in Los Angeles in 1905 and became the first ever international star of Chinese or other Asian descent. In 1953, Wong suffered one of the biggest disappointments of her career when she was rejected from the lead role of The Good Earth and instead was given to a Caucasian actress, Lois Rayner, who portrayed the Chinese actress in Yellowface. Not willing to lose to ignorance, Wong became the first ever Asian lead in an American television show. Not only does she have an unforgettable acting legacy behind her, she also helped relief efforts in China during the Second World War.
It's time to take a look at what has been trending on Twitter. Hannah Montana star Miley Cyrus tweeted out a letter she wrote to herself marking the 15th year anniversary of when she had her very first show.
Vine is also trending. For those who may not recall, Vine is an app that released in 2013 and ended shortly after that in 2017. Similar to TikTok, the app was made of short, entertaining videos. People are reliving their favorite Vines by sharing them on Twitter.
Tree, what do you think about Hannah Montana?
I remember it. It was a great show. I can't believe it's already been 15 years.
Yeah, I honestly do too. I've seen her for a little bit. Didn't pay too much attention to it. It's probably more like her That's So Raven type of guy. But,
I love That's So Raven too. I've definitely been rewatching that on Disney Plus, so it's good show.
Absolutely. Probably was just, all right, I gotta mention before we stop talking about Hannah Montana, Party in the USA. Hands down.
Great song, amazing.
Party in the USA.
Party in the USA.
Yes.
Alrighty, well, that's all we have for today. I'm Triana Gondo.
Thank you guys for watching us today. I'm Dejan Sullivan, and we'll see you guys again.